Thank you. Further debate? I recognize the member for Don Valley North.
Speaker. Speaker, it's an honor for me to rise and deliver my inaugural speech to this honourable House. First and foremost, I offer a heartfelt thank you to the people of Don Valley North. Thank you for trusting me to be your voice at Queen's Park. And thank you for giving me the honour for carrying your hopes, your struggles, and your dreams into this chamber. And just as I promised you on election night, I will promise you again today that every day that I serve as your MPP, I will always put you and your family's priorities first. But Speaker, in public life we know gratitude itself is not enough. Gratitude must be repaid, not with words, but with action and with service. Speaker, I'm here to serve. I'm here to work for the people of Don Valley North. I also owe a deep debt of gratitude to my campaign team and the countless volunteers who gave not just of their time, not just of their energy, but also of their hearts in a journey that we began together in 2022. And of course to my family, my mom and dad who are in the gallery with us today. And of course my brother, whose love and support always allowed me to follow my dreams no matter what. Speaker, in particular, I wish to honor my late grandfather, David Tsao, a true citizen of the world. He was a man who embraced the best in life because he knew what it meant to suffer and to go without. At age 5, he lived through the Japanese occupation of Shanghai during the Second World War. At age 22, he and his family were forced to flee their homeland in mainland China, taking refuge on the island of Taiwan amidst the chaos of a communist revolution. The only possessions they took with them were those which they could carry in their hands or on their backs. At age 23, he bravely fought for freedom as a captain in the United States Army in Korea. And at age 46, after building a successful career as a respected international businessman in Taiwan, he uprooted his life again, this time moving to Canada. He moved here for a simple reason, a simple yet extraordinary dream, a dream that his 3 sons could have a future free from the hardships, free from the struggles, free from the suffering that he endured his entire life. My grandfather was my greatest champion, my best friend. He pushed me to strive for greatness and to enjoy life, of course, along the way. Though he left us almost 2 years ago this month, I felt his encouragement with me every day of the campaign. Strong, brave, proud, a true gentleman and a scholar. That was my grandfather. So to you, you have my enduring love and respect forever. Speaker, like many who call Don Valley North home, I'm the son of immigrants, people who came to Canada not seeking fame, but seeking freedom, not seeking privilege, but seeking opportunity. On my mother's side, the first to arrive in Canada was my great-great-grandfather, Su Hu Ying. He was from Gamyutong village in Huiping, Guangdong province in southern China. He lived at a time when poverty, famine, and political instability were the norm, not the exception. And because of this, he knew that the old world could not offer the future he wanted for his family. For Su Hu Ying, there was only one clear answer: Gamsan, Gold Mountain, Canada. He crossed the ocean aboard the Empress of China, enduring the seas for over a month, finally arriving at the port of Vancouver on October 21st, 1896. bringing with him nothing more than hopes and dreams for a future in this country. But unfortunately, Speaker, the reality he met here in Canada was much harsher. In Canada, he didn't find a country where the streets were paved in gold. What he found was legalized discrimination in the form of the Chinese Exclusion Act. This act would seek to end the presence of people like him in Canada, to end the influx of so-called Chinese cheap labor. This was the so-called cheap Chinese labor that dug the gold out of our mountains so Canada could be rich. This was the cheap Chinese labor that built the railroad which connected our country from sea to sea. This was the cheap Chinese labor that toiled night and day, scrubbing clothing by hands so Canadians didn't have to. The Chinese Exclusion Act, Speaker, did not just impose the head tax that Su Hu-ying was forced to pay to enter Gamsan, Gold Mountain. It also meant exclusion and humiliation. He was barred from voting. He was barred from practicing a profession. He was barred from holding public office, the very privilege that I, his great-great-grandson, stands here today exercising. But Speaker, I want to be clear. I want to be absolutely clear with my words. I do not share this story for sympathy, nor do I tell it in anger to shame and scorn the country that I love. I tell it because despite the walls of legalized discrimination that Su Hu-ying and countless others like him faced, he never gave up. He believed in Canada, even when Canada did not believe in him. He and countless others like him built the foundations on which I stand today. So, Speaker, after spending an entire campaign knocking on the doors of my neighbors in Don Valley North, I know that spirit, that belief in Canada, that belief in Ontario still burns brightly in every corner of our province and our communities today. From Pleasant View to Parkway Forest, from Peanut Plaza to Hillcrest Village, from Henry Farm to Bayview Village, from Don Valley Village to Bridlebrook Park, and from Bayview Woodsteels to Shawnee Park. We are many histories, many languages, but one community, one shared hope, one dream of a future that belongs to everyone in Don Valley North. Speaker, our democracy is not a gift. It's a responsibility. It must be earned again and again by every single generation. Mackenzie King, he once described our democracy not merely as a matter of voting, but rather as a matter of making our will effective and our will intelligent. Speaker, elections matter, but what matters even more is what comes after the votes are cast. Democracy demands that we listen, especially when it's difficult. Democracy demands that we act, even when the cost is high. Democracy demands that we lead, even when it would be easier to follow. And Speaker, that is the standard I will hold myself to as an MPP for Don Valley North. But of course, I can't do this alone. In Don Valley North, we are blessed with a community of everyday heroes. Willowdale Legal Services fights to ensure that justice is a right for everyone, not a privilege. Oriole Food Space ensures that no family is left hungry. North York Toronto Health Partners and Fairview Community Health make healthcare accessible for all. The Working Women's Community Centre lifts up newcomers and empowers women. The Harriet Tubman Community Organization builds pathways for Black youth to lead and to succeed. The Afghan Women's Organization, CICS, the Iranian Women's Organization of Ontario, they break down barriers for newcomers to thrive in our economy and our society. Hong Fook Mental Health Association tears down the stigma around mental health, especially in new immigrant communities. New Circles, Friends of Parkway Forest, Access Employment, Toronto North Local Immigration Partnership, Community Information Fairview, Wordswell Association, Northwark General Hospital, 33 Division, Bayview Village Association, Shepherd Leslie Homeowners Association, Bryan Village Association, Henry Farm Association, and so many, many more. These organizations, Speaker, these organizations are the true builders of our community, and I am truly humbled to stand with them and support their work as their MPP. Speaker, service to community has always been more than words to me. It's been how I've endeavored to live my life. I've been proud to serve on the board of directors of the Yi Hong Center for Geriatric Care. Yi Hong is an organization that sets the gold standards for compassionate, culturally sensitive care in Ontario and is led by an extraordinary community leader and mentor of mine, Dr. Joseph Long, its founder and chair emeritus. I've worked for Habitat for Humanity Canada, helping to keep the dream of affordable home ownership alive in Ontario. Because every family deserves the security and dignity of a safe place to call home. Beyond our borders, I've worked with Canada, monitoring elections from countries from Ukraine to Kazakhstan, helping to ensure that the fundamental rights of democracy, the fundamental rights that we as Canadians enjoy so deeply, free, fair, and open elections are protected everywhere. Speaker, these experiences have taught me that change is not made by speeches alone. It's made by communities. Communities caring and working together. And this, Speaker, is a spirit that I bring with me to this chamber. Speaker, I like to believe that Don Valley North stands as a living symbol of what Ontario can be. In our schools, 100 languages are spoken, but a single dream is shared. In our businesses, hard work and dedication meet innovation, energy, and prosperity. In our homes, diversity is not a challenge, it's a strength that we share and celebrate with our neighbors. Yet at the very same time, too many parents in Don Valley North lay awake at night worrying about how they will feed their children the next day. Too many seniors struggle to access the care they deserve to age in dignity at home. And too many young people wonder whether they can ever afford to buy a house or any home in the community that raised them. Speaker, today in Don Valley North, as across this province, the challenges we face are real and they are urgent. In Pleasantview, homes are increasingly out of reach for ordinary families. At Northwark General Hospital, healthcare professionals are overworked and underpaid, while essential resources are few and far between. In classrooms, underfunding, overcrowding, and crumbling infrastructure rob our children of the best chance for tomorrow. Shepherd Avenue, as this House heard me speak about just the other day, is choked with congestion. Well, the dream of a fully connected subway from Yonge to Bayview Village, Ferry Mall, all the way to Scarborough Town Centre remains only that, a dream. Safety concerns, affordability concerns, healthcare concerns, they all loom large. Speaker, these problems will not solve themselves. Our constituents expect us to be the problem solvers. They expect us to be builders, and they deserve nothing less. But Speaker, some may ask us, why? Why as MPPs would we be willing to take on such large and mammoth tasks? Why struggle for goals that are so distant and so complex? Why not simply settle for the low-hanging fruit or bury our head in a tunnel and leave the hard work for another day? I answer simply, because our communities cannot wait, and our constituents will not wait. We choose to confront the housing crisis, not because it's easy, but because every family deserves a safe and decent place to call home. We choose to strengthen public health care, not because it's cheap, but because every Ontarian deserves a family doctor and access to world-class health care with their OHIP card, not their credit card. We choose to invest in public education, not because it's simple, but because every hope for a better tomorrow relies on it. And we choose to protect our environment, not because it's popular, but because we need the beauty of our ravines to persist for every generation yet to come. We do these things because we believe the good and the great are worth fighting for. We do these things because we know it's what our constituents demand of us. Speaker, before I begin to close, I wish to pay tribute to a former MPP who once represented part of my riding, Mr. David Kaplan. David was not only a devoted, and I stress, devoted public servant, he was also my political mentor and a dear friend. Whenever I needed advice, he was a phone call and a visit to Katz's Deli away. Smoked meat on rye, extra fatty with sauce. Of course. We lost David in 2019. Far too young, far too soon. But the lessons he taught us will endure. His unwavering dedication to our community, his belief that public service is never about us, but it's always about the people we serve. His example, his wisdom, and his spirit will guide my work as an MPP, and I will do my best to carry forward the community-first legacy that David Kaplan embodied so well. Speaker, before I close, I want to say this directly to the people of Don Valley North. I know how blessed I am. Blessed to have been born and raised in Don Valley North, the greatest community in the greatest province in the greatest country in the world. And now entrusted to stand here as your representative at Queen's Park. I've knocked on your doors. I've listened to your hopes and your worries. I've seen firsthand the strength, the kindness, and the resilience that makes us strong. So to you, I promise you, I will never let you down. Speaker, in serving our province, I carry with me a simple and enduring truth. We must never grow weary in doing good, because if we persevere, we will reap the harvest of our hopes, a community where everyone has the opportunity to succeed. In closing, like my grandfather, I'm a student of history. That's what he would say. In 1905, with the westward growth of our great nation, Sir Wilfrid Laurier said, and I quote, "We do not want nor wish that any individual should forget the land of his origin. Let them look to the past, but let them still look more to the future. Let them look to the land of their ancestors, but let them look also to the land of their children." It's in that spirit, Speaker, that I stand here today, proud of where I've come from and hopeful for what we can build together. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for believing in me. And thank you for giving me the honor to serve the community that I love. Thank you, Don Valley North.